Okay, I'll start. The first thing I want to talk about is, let's start with the exam 2. I have it scheduled for the week before Thanksgiving, and I wouldn't be surprised if you have a lot of exams scheduled then. So I just wanted to consult you and see if you had a preference of when you wanted the exam. So I'm going to just send out that as a chat. And I can tell you a little bit about what the options are, and then we can have a quick vote on that. Let me let somebody in. So here's the idea. So the second exam, which will cover the second half of the course, is due, I have it on the schedule for the week before Thanksgiving. If we do that, we'd probably have a class after Thanksgiving, just a couple of things just to finish up. So I was thinking if it's, and I don't know what your schedules are like. So one possibility would be to have the exam the week after Thanksgiving, or even have it, or even during Thanksgiving, but I'm thinking more the week after Thanksgiving. So I'm going to ask you a question. You can just vote yes or no. So the first question is, somebody asked a question. I'm going to answer their question in a second. So so it's unclear what the question on the table is. Do you want exam 2 before Thanksgiving? I'm sending out that question now so you can look at it. And then you can just vote yes or no. The exam will be, like the same format. You'd have a day off from class. It would be just like the other exam, exactly the same format. And you can either chat it, or there's that yes or no thing you can hit too. Ah, thank you. I did not send the question out. Let me send it out correctly. So it's going to be first. I'm going to ask 2 questions. You want the exam before Thanksgiving? Yes or no? And then I'm going to send out a second question. Do you want it after Thanksgiving? So a vote yes means before Thanksgiving. A vote no would mean after Thanksgiving. Somebody asked about the final. I'm going to just hold on that for a second. Okay. I'm getting resounding yes, and that's fine with me. So the second exam will be before Thanksgiving. Okay. So it'll be a similar format to before. You'll have the whole day to work on it. It'll be pretty much the same kind of exam. You can use that as a template for the second exam, but just of course different questions. Okay. And we would have the week. We would have the class before would be review. We'll have the exam on Thursday before Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, I will have at least one more class with material, just depending upon where we are. I'm not even going to ask if you want it after Thanksgiving, because there were so many yeses for before Thanksgiving. Actually, I will, because maybe not everybody asked. So yeah, so I should do that. So here's the second question. Do you want it after Thanksgiving? I think I know what the answer is going to be. Again, a no vote would mean you don't want it after Thanksgiving. A yes vote would mean you do. Okay, I'm seeing the same kind of, and you can vote privately or publicly, it doesn't matter. And if you don't vote, then I'm just going to interpret your vote before as your final vote. Okay, we got it. And so I don't, if you're not here on that day, if you leave early to go home, you can take it at home. Just make sure, of course, that you have the internet capability to send it in. Okay, we got that done. Now, a couple of questions about the final. I've done this in other classes, and I think I'm going to do it in this class for a couple of reasons. I'm going to make the final exam optional. I'm going to text that out so you know what I'm saying.
The final's optional?
Yeah. And so if you like your grade, you don't need
I
it.
didn't realize my mic was on.
I've done this in other classes, introductory classes before, and it works well.
So will it replace like one of our exam scores, or is it just like an additional score?
It'll be an additional score. And
Okay,
so
thank you.
what I will do is I will have all your grade. You'll have a grade to date. It'll be your grade for the class as of before the final. And then we can discuss if you want to, if you know, and then I will also give you an indication of what scores you would need to improve your grade.
Okay, thank you.
And it could, but it's, if you're in, you're all in. So it could also mean that your grade, like if you're borderline, it could send you back. So just keep that in, but I'll make that all clear. I've done this in my calculus classes. I think it works really well. So any questions about that? And again, I will send this out with the revised syllabus just so it's out there. I think given the circumstances and everything like that, and the fact that you've all worked really, really hard, that I think you've earned that. Okay. And I've given you a lot of work too. Okay, we're going to have a project next week. I'll have the due date. We'll talk about that, but that'll be solo. I mean, you can do it with other people if you want, but I just think given the chaos at the end of the semester and how the other one went and the difficulty of connecting with everybody, I'm going to make it a solo project with a group option. That'll be the third project. And then there will be a fourth project, which is also optional after Thanksgiving. And the way that will work, if you don't like one of the grades on your first three projects, you can replace it with the fourth. And you don't have to take it. So again, I will specify all that. The syllabus talks about that. So there'll be a fourth project after the break, and that'll just be an optional project. And that'll be just a pure replacement, so you can't lose if you do it. Okay. Now, WebAssigns will be, just so you can plan, you have the one this week, you'll have the one next week, and then there'll be an optional one after the break. And that by optional, I mean it'll replace, you know, I think I said I would drop 2. That would allow you a third drop. So I'm just trying to give you a sense, since we're nearing the end of what's going on. So I just threw a lot of information at you. So let me chat out project 3 next week. Due is going to be TBA, but it will be, but I will give you plenty of time. So you won't have the project and the exam due the same day. Okay. And then project 4 after the break will be optional. Okay, so any questions about any of that stuff? Like I say, I threw a lot of information at you. But I think it helps for you to plan out kind of what your strategies are going to be, because I'm sure, you know, end of the semester is always a very, very crazy time. Okay. I'm behind on grading a little bit, you know, for the quizzes, and I apologize. I will try to have something out before the exam so you know where you stand before the second exam. So I apologize for that. And then I put the project all the project 2s are in. Were a couple of issues I wanted to make sure everybody was in. So the project 2 assessment will be out. It will be available after class. So again, I will chat that out. It's mandatory if you were in a group. It will be due before class on November 10. And again, I will also just put this stuff in an announcement too, but I wanted to discuss it today before doing that. Okay. And finally, to the matter of today, the handouts are going to be 17A and 17B. And I'm going to go over, I'm extending the videos just a little bit. It's based on the videos, but I'm extending it just a little bit. I want to go over kind of what these are about. Then we'll go into the groups and I can go into more detail when I meet with you individually. Okay. Any questions before I begin with the math today? Again, I'm going to introduce what we're doing. Okay. So just want to review things. I'll explain the pictures. Okay. So we have two situations. We have a triangle and we have trigonometry on a circle. And I want to go over each one, just make sure that they connect. So the idea of the triangle is we have a base angle, and the sine is going to be equal to, let me start with the cosine. The cosine theta is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse in this triangle, and that's going to be x over h. The sine is going to be the opposite over hypotenuse, and so that's going to be y over h. And the tangent is just opposite over adjacent, and that's going to be y over x. Okay. Now we go to the unit circle, and it's a very similar idea. If I do a triangle within the first quadrant, it would be exactly the same as here. But we're generalizing it, and the idea is you draw an angle. It can be any number, and if it's greater than 360, you go around accordingly. If it's negative, you go in the opposite direction. But you end up at a point on the unit circle. And the definitions are the same. The cosine is going to be x over the hypotenuse, but the hypotenuse is 1. So it just ends up being x. And again, I talked about that in the video. The sine of theta is going to be y over h. And since h is 1, that's just going to be y. So the sine is equal to y. And the tangent is just going to be equal to y over x. So here, it's physical in terms of a triangle between 0 and 90 degrees. Here, our angle can be any real number. And it's defined with the same idea, but just extended. So the sine theta is still going to be the same. Cosine x over h. Here, cosine x over h, but that ends up being x, because the h is 1. The sine y over h, same thing here, but that's going to end up being y, because our hypotenuse is 1, and the tangent's still the same thing. So you have the same definitions, but in a different context. Okay, so is that any questions about that? And you can either chat them out or ask them. Okay, so that's like the first thing I wanted to say. Okay. Now the second thing, the confusing thing about trigonometry is there's a lot of redundancy. You're going to see that all you really need is sine and cosine, but it takes a while to get there. And so there's going to be additional sine functions which really don't give us any additional information. They don't get used a whole lot, but I want to go through with them because the book talks about it, and you may see it in a calculus class or if you take a course that uses trigonometry. So I'm going to extend those. So we know that the sine is going to be y over h. That's supposed to be a y. and we have this thing called the cosecant of theta, and that's h over y. And notice it's the reciprocal of the sine. So it's equal to 1 over the sine. So in other words, we can also think of the cosecant as 1 over the sine. I've studied this stuff a long time, and I'm sure there's reasons for it, but I don't see any real what we gain by having that, because we get everything we need about this, we can, from the sine, but nonetheless, it's there. So with the cosine, you have the same idea. The cosine is going to be x over h, and then you have something called the secant, and that's the reverse, h over x. Again, the secant is the reciprocal of the cosine, and so it's equal to 1 over cosine. Okay. And then the third thing is you have something, just a reminder, the tangent is opposite over adjacent, so y over x. You have something called the cotangent, and again, that's going to be it's going to be x over y. So the cotangent is the reciprocal of the tangent, and it's going to be 1 over tangent. Okay. And I'm going to go through an example with each of these in a second. So it's an added complication. I'm not sure what we gain out of it, but it's there, so I just want to make sure that we go over it. The three, I focused on these three because really that's all you need in practice. And if you understand those really well, then it's just, I don't think these end up being terribly confusing. So I kind of wanted to wait until we had a lot of practice with the sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay. So any questions about that? I'm going to do a couple of examples. Okay, so here are some kind of problems that are on WebAssign. And it gives you a triangle. And it might give you 2 values. And we're always going to assume it's a right triangle. And we're going to identify this with x. This is y, which we don't know what it is. And that's the hypotenuse. And it will say you'll have to find, the cosine theta, sine theta, tangent theta. You have to find all 6. And I'll go through all that. So they'll want you to find the sine of theta, the cosecant of theta, and remember that's 1 over the sine, the cos theta, and then the secant of theta, which is going to be 1 over cosine, and then the tangent of theta and the cotangent of theta. And it's going to be, the cotangent is going to be 1 over the tangent. So this is going to be y over h. So this would be h over y. Cosine is going to be x over h. I can do better than that with my y. Tangent is going to be, the secant would be 1 over the cosine, so you just reverse the cosine, h over x. The tangent is going to be y over x, and the cotangent would then be x over y. So notice we need to find y. Once you find y, it's just going to be plugging in. So it's just going to be plug and play. So to find y, I use the Pythagorean theorem. I'll do that over here. And again, if you have questions, just let me know. So we know that x squared plus y squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. 5 squared plus y squared is equal to 13 squared. So we need to find y, so we just solve for y squared. Oops, sorry. Y squared equals 13 squared minus 25 squared. I'm sorry, minus 5 squared. 169 minus 25. Y squared is equal to this. So what does y squared equal? Well, you pull out a calculator or however you do it and you get 144. y squared is 144. So y is going to be plus or minus 12. In this situation, these are lengths, so we don't need the minus. All we need is the 12. So I know what y is now. So I went through the Pythagorean theorem to find y. And now I can just plug in sine y over h. So that's going to be 12 over 13. The cosecant is the opposite. So it's 13 over 12. Cosine, x over h. The secant's just going to be the opposite, the reciprocal, so 13 over 5. Tangent, 12 over 5. 1 over tangent is going to be either 5 over 12, I'll do it directly to check. It's going to be x, which is 5, over y, which is 12. Okay, so you're going to have variants of this problem, but the goal is going to be solve the triangle and then just plug in. So I'm going to give you a couple of the other variants that you have. But before I go to the next example, are there questions about that? So basically you're solving the triangle. And I'm going to give you two sort of variants on that problem next. And I'm going to solve the triangle, but then I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Okay. And one of my theories of learning and how you learn is you just do a lot of problems with sine and cosine in different contexts, and it just starts to make sense. And that's our goal here, is that when I say sine, cosine, tangent, you know exactly what to do. You're not thinking about it. In the beginning, it's always going to be like, well, I'm not sure which is which. You know, I remember, since I went back to learn this stuff when I was, almost 30, I kind of remember going through that. Okay. So here's another variant. You have cosine theta equals 5 over 13. And it's going to say find all 6. So again, you have to think that this is going to be the adjacent, or x, over the hypotenuse, or x over hypotenuse. That's your clue. You solve the triangle. So x is 5, hypotenuse is 13. Again, we need to find y. And I'm using the numbers the same just so we don't have to go through a lot of different calculations. Notice, so I have to find y. And it could be x or h. And so I'm going to go through the same process, even though we know the answer. I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. This is why we talked about it in the beginning of the class. I plug in. I get y alone. Subtract 5 squareds from each side. I square it out. 169 minus 25. That's what y squared is, 144. Y, again, is going to be plus square root of 144, which is plus 12. I don't need the minus because it's a physical triangle. Lengths have to be positive. So now I know what y is. And then again, I do the same thing. I figure out and you're going to be doing, so I'm not going to go through this, but again, you would find all of these. And the way that it's said in WebAssign is they give you the list, and so you have to fill in the blank. So it's not like you have to figure out what you're going to have to find. They're going to tell you. And again, you would just fill in. So just as we did before. So that's kind of the second variant. Instead of giving you a triangle, they give you one of the cosine, sine, tangent, or one of those. They tell you what it's equal to, and you have to figure out it's a triangle. So that's variant 2. And then the last variant would be something like this. They give you the unit circle. So I'm going to use a number. I want to make sure that it's right. I'm going to go something similar. So they give you an angle. They don't tell you what it is, but they give you the point on the unit circle. And we're going to assume this point is -5 minus 12 over 13. So -5 over 13 minus 12 over 13. And it could be anything. Since this is x squared plus y squared equals 1, whatever point they give you, we know this has to happen. If we square these, we're going to get 1. So these are actually a little bit easier because here, I'll go through this again.
Seems like I already have too many pieces that I'm supposed to be worrying about as a resident, so.
So sorry about that.
For what that's worth. I mean, I was thinking about, you know, one thing that I don't know how
Okay. So in this one, this is the unit circle. So we know that this is our hypotenuse. So h is 1. So we just know that because it's a unit circle. So that makes life easier. So this is just going to be x. I'm sorry, this is just going to be y over 1. This will be 1 over y. This will be x over 1, so just x. This will be 1 over x, the reciprocal. And again, these would be y over x and x over y. So again, I'll go through the same thing. Our y coordinate is -12 over 13. That's the sign. This is going to be 1 over y, which is the reciprocal of this. So that's going to be, I'm sorry, it's -12 over -13. Sorry, I didn't get that one right. It's going to be -12 thirteenths. Sorry about that. So I do 1 over this, and that's going to be 13 over -12. So cosine is x. -5 over 13. The secant is 1 over x. That's the reciprocal of this. So 13 over -13 over 5. Tangent y over x. So we're going to get -12 over 5 over -13 over 5. Now think of this as a Webassign problem. We have to simplify. So to simplify a fraction over a fraction, remember what you do is you invert and multiply. So I'm going to flip this fraction over. The 5's cancel and I end up with -12 over -13, which is 12 over 13. So that's what the tangent is. Cotangent, it's x over y, that's going to be 13 over 12, the reciprocal of this. So these are the variants that a lot of the problems in Webassign. And again, they're really just variants on the same kind of problem. In the unit circle, you know that the radius is 1, so you don't have to find the hypotenuse. So in some ways, you don't have to solve the triangle here. So I think I have one more thing to say. Or actually what I'm going to do is, this covers everything on 17A. So I'm going to let you work on that. I'll assign the group, I'll put you into groups, and then I'll bring everybody back at some point to talk about what's on the second handout, and we'll just see where we are time-wise. So again, what you're doing today is very similar. So, okay, so someone said that it looks like there might be a glitch on 17A. Let me look at that. So there's no triangle to solve. Let me look at the problem. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I had a picture of that and disappeared. So the picture didn't come through. So I apologize. I didn't notice that. So I'm going to fix problem 1, and then I'll put you into groups. So I'm going to share the problem and tell you what those things should be. I apologize for that. I should have seen that. So thank you for letting me know about it. Okay, but any questions about this? It's, again, once you get the x, y, and h, it's just a matter of plugging in. And the new wrinkle is that I'm adding the cosine, secant, and cotangent. And again, keep in mind, these are Webassign problems. They're either going to tell you to keep it as whole numbers, or they're going to say, give me a decimal. So you want to make sure of the format. They're going to say, sometimes you're looking for an angle. They're going to say, leave it in terms of pi. And in a different kind of problem, they'll say, they'll say, give me a decimal, because you have some other problems on there. So just keep in mind about the format. Okay, and I'll talk about some other issues like that when we do the problem. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to share the screen and correct the homework. Okay, so for A, I did not, the picture didn't show up, so I'm going to correct that, and I'll write it down on. I'll annotate. You're seeing the share, right? You're seeing handout 1 or handout 17A. If you're not, yep, good. Okay, good. Okay, so I'll just draw a triangle on this, and you can copy it down. And this will have a square root, and you want to leave the square root in, because again, that's what WebAssign will want you to do. So this one will have, let's see if I remember what this one was. Actually, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to do that, and you'll need to find h using the Pythagorean theorem. And notice here I have h is 5, and the adjacent side x is 3. And this one is going to be very similar to one of the ones we did. And then this one down here is like the last one we did. Okay, so I'm going to form groups and let you work on that. I'll see where the progress is, and then if we have time, I'll pull you back for the second part of the handout, 17B. If for some reason we don't get to it today, that's fine. I think we will at least be able to start it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share and then form the groups. Okay, I'm going to form 7 groups, and they're open now. Hi, Lydia. I'm noticing I see you in the main room. Is there a problem joining the group? Hi, Thomas. I saw that you had a question.
Hey, I just wanted to ask if you could enable screen share.
Yeah, I just did. You can always just put one up, but then now everybody can do it together.
Okay,
Awesome.
cool. I'll just.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
says it's still disabled for some reason.
Okay, that's strange. Okay, because I'm seeing that. Here, let me just see what's going on. Yeah, I'm showing that it can share. It's weird. Let me turn it off and then turn it back on again.
Okay.
Yeah. I wonder if no, I'm not sure. Let me try something. I'm just going to try a couple things. I'm going to share something randomly, unshare it, and then take it, stop it, and then see if go back. Is it still blocked?
Yeah.
Weird. Everybody's getting the same thing, that it's blocked, huh?
It could maybe just be me, but have you guys tried too?
Here, let me try. Give me 1 minute.
I mean, sometimes there's updates and then something gets messed up in the update.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go look at the other rooms and see what's going on too.
All right.
So are you seeing the same thing, Thomas?
I'm trying to find the right tab. It's just giving me a bunch of little triangles with the exclamation point in them.
Oh,
I'm not sure which one is what.
that's weird.
Yeah, let's see if this is it. I have to grant access.
Yeah. Let me go check another group and see if this is going on elsewhere. If it is, then I'll go back and reform the groups.
Oh,
Okay,
Professor,
no worries. Thank you.
it says that I'll have to quit Zoom in order to enable screen sharing, so I'm gonna have to rejoin.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I'll catch you in the main room. Might take a second.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, could you all do me a favor? I just enabled screen. One of the other groups said they couldn't share the screen. And I just wanted to see whether you're able to share the screen.
Oh, okay. How would I do that? Oh, more.
What says, yeah, it says, yeah, I'm on a Mac and on the bottom, I have like a bunch of choices and one of them is share screen. Or Sam, do you know how to do that?
Yep, I know how to do it.
Could you check? Yeah. Yeah, you're able to
Yeah.
do that. But you're a host. So that might be different. Yeah, so maybe Matthew, see if you can do it. I think that's what we need.
Am I doing it now?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
if that's you, yes.
Yeah, this is me.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's working. Okay, I'm going to check out. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to check another room to see if it's still going on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's see.
Oh, did you mean to close the rooms?
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I brought you all back out semi accidentally. I'll put you back in. But were you able to share screens? Somebody said they weren't able to do that, but other people were. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's a universal problem or whether it's just one person. And if you haven't tried to do that yet, I can just put you all back in the rooms to see, but I thought I'd call you back. Actually, since I made the mistake of bringing everybody back, I thought I'd ask.
Sorry, could you ask your question again?
Sure. Are you able? I was asking people, you know how we had that problem sharing in your group?
Yeah.
I was asking other people whether they were able to share. One other group was, so I'm just trying to figure out if we have a problem or not. So has anybody else tried screen sharing? I've talked to groups 1 and 2, but in the other groups?
We haven't tried it yet, no.
Yeah, we didn't try.
Okay, I'm going to put everybody back and haven't tried yet. That's what seems to be happening. People seem to be saying. Okay, so sorry to call you back out. Like I say, it was an accident, but I figured I'd ask you. So I'll put you back in, and then group 2, I'll come back to yours and see if we can figure out what's going on. Hey, Thomas, are you here in the main?
Yeah.
Okay, are you able? Did you get you were in group 2, right? Yeah, you were with Brendan and Bushwa and Aiden. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll put you back there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it says host disabled attendee screen
Yeah, I
share.
don't know why it's still not working, but it's okay.
Weird. Yeah, I'll try to figure out what's going on. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna, yeah, because I went to another one and it was working. So
Yeah, no worries. It's fine.
I'll try to figure it out. It's weird. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay. I've seen a bit. Hey, so were you all able to share? I'm just trying to isolate this problem. Sorry to interrupt your work.
No, I attempted to and it did not work for me. However, I don't know if Susie and Isaac are using their own screen.
I'm using my screen, but I didn't try to share screen yet.
Okay. Yeah, see if you, do you mind trying to see if you're able to share the screen?
I tried and it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
And right here, I have it like on here. So let's see. Oh, I wonder if they changed. Because I just got my sharing options and it's showing. I'm not giving a chance to change it. So let me see what I can do. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you too. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks for your patience.
Of course.
Hey, so you all were able to share before. I just want to verify. Another group said they couldn't. I just want to verify that.
I was able to, but I don't know if the other two have tried.
You mind trying again just to make sure?
I can try.
Yeah. I'm sorry to distract you from this.
Oh, it says I can't share.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna because I looked at the option. I'm giving you like the oh wait.
It lets me do it.
Weird.
Yeah, it won't let me do it.
Okay. Javarian, do you mind trying just so I can see? I'm just trying to figure out what the problem is.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's telling me only the host can share in this meeting.
Weird.
That's what it's telling me as well.
Are we all signed into Zoom on the school emails?
Yes.
Is it effective? Or is it something else?
That's a good point. I think most of you are. I know some people like I have to let in because they're not.
Yeah.
That's a good thought. I'm going to try one thing. Okay. I'm going to share something. And of course that won't. Okay. Let's do some stuff. I'll stop the share. Wait, here, I'm going to see if I can do this. Okay. So do you mind trying either Kristen or Javarian one more time to see if you're able to share?
Yeah. Yeah, it still says host disabled.
Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, so something's going on here. I don't know what it is. Matthew, I don't know why you're allowed to do it. I'm going to see if I can figure out a way around that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the main room. Okay, so sorry. So do the best you can. I'm sorry that you have to go through it. So I assume, Sam, I assume that's you sharing?
No, that's not me.
Oh, it's not. It's working?
Seems to be.
Oh, it is you. Oh, okay, it is you. Yeah, yeah.
No, this is me.
Oh.
I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not me.
Okay, so, oh, it is Tom. Okay, Thomas. Okay, so it's working then now, the share.
Yeah.
Okay. It looked like something, I never go into the settings, but this, I think they must have done they must have done something to reset settings because the setting was sharing was I fixed something in the settings, so I think it should work now. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, good. So it seems to be working. That's good to hear. Okay, thank you. Hey, do you all mind trying again? I did something in the settings and I'm going to see if it helped.
I can try.
Yeah, thank you. And
Oh, Quinn got it.
okay, excellent. Okay, thank you. While I'm here, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay. Susie, you're okay?
Yeah. Can you do or like number one, like
Sure.
Yeah, what are the
What you
numbers on
draw.
number one?
Yeah.
Okay, I gave it to the class.
I didn't hear it.
Okay, and then yeah, and then so let me show you what they were. I'm just going to make up numbers. It may be a little bit different, but it's going to work. So I'm just going to draw the triangle. Yeah, someone pointed that out in class, and then I went over it. But okay, so let's do. I think I did 3 and 7. So you have to find H.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, that 3 and 7 might go away when I leave, so make sure you got it. I think sharing should work now. I did something in the settings, but do you mind one last time, either Javarian or Kristen, trying to see if you can share?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's working.
I just played something. Yeah, I think I know what's going on, but anyway, I'm glad it's fixed. Did you get the numbers for these? For number one?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I wrote them down.
Good, so you can share them. Oh, go ahead.
I was confused on number 4.
Yeah, sure. Let's go and look at that. Do you want to put yours up or?
Sure, I
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay, good. That way, if I have to write something down, I think it'll stay after I leave. Oh, okay. This is kind of like the last one that I did. We know that I'll just do 2, okay, and the others are going to be similar. Let me do the annotate. So cosine theta is equal to x over h. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is a unit circle, and I should have said that, but it's x squared plus, it should be assumed to be a unit circle, but I should have said it. And so what's the hypotenuse here going to be equal to? Remember, the hypotenuse is the same as the radius.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
It's that red line.
That's going to be equal to 1. But if you didn't know that, you could square these numbers. Sorry, so that squared plus, sorry, I know it's 13 in the bottom, it looks like a 12, plus this squared is going to be equal to whatever h is, or h squared, I'm sorry, Pythagorean theorem. So you're kind of like imagining a triangle here, except where you're going to have like this is negative 5/13 instead of positive. Okay. So if I square those, I'm going to get do the math. The top squared is 25, 13 squared is 169. And then I square 12 over 13, I get 144 over 169. And if I add those together, I get 169 over 169, which is 1.
Yeah.
I get h squared is equal to 1. So that means h is 1. So one way to, if it wasn't the unit circle, you could always figure it out by just squaring the x coordinate and the y coordinate using the Pythagorean theorem. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, does that help?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, and thank you for your help in debugging too. Okay, and do you want me to erase all this stuff or keep it on there?
I'm writing it all down on a piece of paper, so it doesn't need to be there.
Okay, yeah, it just seems like it's in the way. Okay. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, and thank you for your help in helping me debug. Okay, see you all in a bit. Hello, I think the sharing issue is all fixed now. I did something in the settings and it seems to be working. But I wanted to make sure see if you had any questions and to make sure that you got the numbers from problem 1.
Yeah, we got them.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah, I think it's
At
going
least
well.
for the numbers. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. And for number 4, it's the unit circle. I didn't say that. But I just wanted to put that the circle is x squared plus y squared equals 1. So your hypotenuse will be 1. Is it number 4 or 5 that has the circle? I think it's 4. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only up to 4 on the first handout.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's no questions, I'll take off. It sounds like there's none. Is that right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Good. That's good. Okay. See you in a bit. Hey everybody, I'm just coming in to say hello. I think the sharing issue, if you need to share the screen, that should be solved. And I just want to see if you have any questions right now.
I don't have any questions, but I just want to let y'all know, like, the Wi-Fi just went down in my building.
Oh.
So if I, like, leave, it wasn't on purpose.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Are you at Drake or are you somewhere else?
Well, I'm at Drake West Village, and it happened yesterday, and they still haven't fixed it. Like, they fixed it.
Okay.
And then, like, this morning, I woke up and, like, it was down, and then it came back up, and now it's back down.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's helpful for me to know in case there's other people that are in that boat. But thank you for letting me know. And I hope it stays up. But I'll understand if you're not here.
Okay.
Okay. So Amanda or Maddie or Ciamora, do you have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Not a shocker. Okay. I have a question for problem 4. I don't know. I'm looking at it and I don't know how to like kind of start it.
Okay, good. And I left it a little vague, so let me get my share up. Okay, are you seeing it now?
Wait, hold on. No, I just see the title of it. I don't see the rest of the page.
Oh, it's weird. Are other people seeing it?
I just see the title as well.
Okay, let me stop the share. I think I know maybe what's going on, but. Oh, wait. How about now?
Yeah, now I see it.
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay. I had paused the sharing at some point. So I didn't say this on the problem, and technically you don't need it, but I should have said it. I meant to say it. That the circle is good. The circle is going to be, oops, I did not mean to do that. The circle is going to be x squared. Oh, what did I do? Is your share all messed up now? Did the picture move?
Yeah, the circle
Yeah.
is like above the.
I've never seen that. Okay, this is a day for a surprising thing. So I'm going to stop the share and try it again.
Okay.
Hopefully this time it will be better. Okay, good. I have too many things open, so I can't find it. Weird. Okay, I'm going to close it and open it up again. And if that doesn't work, I'll just let you look at yours. Here, I'll just do that anyway. I think I got it. You can help me out. Okay, so
Okay.
it's probably easier. Okay, so here's the problem. Excuse my drawing. In this point here, it's -5/13.
Yeah.
Comment?
And then 12, 13.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, and I'm just going to look at sine theta and cosecant theta, just so we have something to work with. So the sine theta is going to be y/h, which in this case is going to be the radius of the circle. And then the cosecant would be the opposite. It would be, sorry, that should be an h. It would be h/y. Okay. So, and that's my theta right here. So the circle here is x squared plus y squared equals 1. That's the equation. So it's the unit circle, and I should have specified that. You don't technically need it, but I meant to specify it. Okay, so what does that make? What does that make this radius right here? It makes it 1, right? Because if you look at the formula for the circle.
Oh yeah, 1 is the hypotenuse.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And so that means, and then this is my y, and this is my x over here. So now I just fill in the blank. I know that y is it's positive 12/13. And that's over 1. And so that's just going to end up being 12/13. And does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I just needed to, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know why it tripped me up. It's like this, it's the same as the other ones. It's just that I forgot that sign was like y/h and h/y. I don't know, I get confused because like there's like not only does it have opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, you have to remember x, y, and then
Right.
I don't know.
No, it is confusing. There's no doubt.
It's little things like that. But okay, I get the rest. I can
no
do it.
doubt. I find this stuff, you're not alone. Okay. Okay. Okie doke. So I'm going to head back. There was a question from another group, and then are there other questions? I can always come right back if you have a question. Otherwise, I'll just come back later.
No, not for me. That was the only one.
Okay. Okay. So
I don't have any questions either.
Okay, great. Okay.
Same.
See, oh, and you lost Sydney, right? Yep. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. Hey, sorry, I was in the middle of a question, so it took a while, so sorry.
No, no worries. Okay, so we were just figuring out that you do draw that line right here. Okay. So that's how, okay, awesome.
And then I didn't say it, but actually I should have, but it's not absolutely necessary. Do you know what the radius is or the hypotenuse for that triangle?
Not yet.
Okay. It will almost always be the unit circle.
Okay. Do we know that we don't have that angle though, do we?
Oh no, well, you don't need to know it because it's always going to be y, like here, I'll just do it with the sign. It's going to be the y coordinate over the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is going to be the same as the radius. So what's the hypotenuse equal to?
was it?
Remember, this is the circle, and I should have reviewed this.
So 12 13ths? No.
No, it's just look at the circle. That's going to be the equation.
So 1?
Yes, yeah. And the other way you could find it, you could just square these things. X squared plus y squared is going to be equal to r squared, or h squared, let's say. So you could square this, and then square the y coordinate.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do the math, which I can go through if you want, but let's just say you plug that into the calculator, this is what you're going to get.
Okay.
And remember that would be h squared. So even if you didn't have, I didn't give you that information, but I meant to. But you would have seen right away, oh, radius is 1. But if you didn't see that, you could just get it this way as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Other questions before I go?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. Thanks, Susie.
No, you definitely clarified it a lot more.
Okay, good. That's what I'm here for. Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks, Isaac.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me stop the share.
It's my share.
Oh, wait. No,
okay.
Sorry. I could get out.
No,
No, that was
no,
me.
no worries. No worries.
Okay. Hello. Sorry I haven't visited you all yet. But I think I got everything sorted with the share. Do you have any questions?
I don't. I wasn't sure if we were supposed to do 2 or not. I already did. I'm on question 5. If we finished, do you want us to stay?
If you're finished and you want so you're on you mean 17B, you're already on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you feel you understand stuff, and how Isabel and Sammy, how are you doing on that?
I just started on B. Some of the stuff I'm not 100% sure on. Rachel's been helping me with it. I watched a video on it, so I'm kind of getting it, but I'm still working through it still.
Okay. And
I'm on 3 right now.
Okay. Sammy, how about you? I mean, I can. So Rachel, you're helping them with that stuff.
Yeah, just with the first question. Yeah, and I found a video too, because for question 2, I understood them for why it equaled that, but I couldn't figure out a way to write it down. So I found a video which actually explained it even better than I thought I understood it. So
okay, good. Yeah, and again, I hadn't covered this stuff yet, and I was gonna go through that with the class, but you're ahead, so that's good. So thank you for doing my work for me. Let me just. I'm gonna share it. Are you seeing it right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The key idea is that when you get to 4, is that everything can be written in terms of sine and cosine. Like notice here that you know that the tangent's equal. You show the tangent's equal to sine over cosine.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at the cosecant, I'm going to just show you what I was thinking. I'm going to tell the class. If you look at the cosecant, you have to think about what we said before. That's 1 over sine. From the definition from what we were talking about earlier in class, or in the last handout.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean that, let's say you have the cosecant here. That would mean that you'd have 1 over sine times cosine.
Right. Yep.
And then you would end up with cosine over sine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, well, what's cosine over sine?
Right. I kind of did it a different way. I just did it as the fraction. So h over x times y over h.
That'll work just as well.
Yeah. And then I just converted the tangent, cotangent and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
At the end, the answers.
Yep. And that'll work just as well. And then there's different ways to do these. And so what I end up here with cosine over sine, and then I say, oh, well, sine over sine is the tangent. So it's going to be the cotangent. It's the opposite of the sine. So that would be the final answer. And
okay.
Again, I hadn't gone over this stuff yet. So So it's good that you figured it out on your own. Okay.
I actually had a quick question about for the exam.
Yep.
Will you do a study guide or no?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It'll be exactly the same routine. You'll have some review questions, study guide, a lot of review the class before. Since we're going to meet after the break, probably the whole class. And then, yeah, so it'll be exactly the same routine completely.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the chat. So it says project 2 available after class mandatory. What does that mean? This chat?
Remember how you did the assessment over the first project? To talk about? Yeah, it's just that.
Oh, okay. Assessment.
And
Okay.
I'll send that announcement for that too. Okay. I just want to announce it in class first. Okay, doke. Anybody else have a question?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, good. So I'll see you in a bit. I'm going to clear that, stop the share, and I'll take off. Hi, sorry it's taken me so long to get here, to you. How are you all doing?
Good. I think I'm done.
Good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay, so are you done with the with 17A?
Yes.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do, I think other people are too. I'm going to check one more group. I think I'm going to bring everybody back and talk briefly about it, and maybe work for a few more minutes on it. So anyway, so I'll let you know what's going on in a couple of minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good. And if you want to just have a go at 17B before I do that, you might be able to figure it out. But I'll go over it as well.
Okay.
Okay, yep. See you in a bit. Just kind of checking in on your progress and to see if you have questions.
I had finished with it. I was just waiting for to meet back with the class and then to start on the second handout.
So Javarian,
Yeah, no questions so far.
And Kristen, you're doing well too, both of you?
Yeah.
If you want to, I'm going to talk to a couple more groups to see where people, I probably will bring everybody back in a couple of minutes. But if you want to download it and start it, then I'll bring everybody back and talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody has a question in another room, so I'm going to join them and I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Hello. I saw that somebody had somebody pinged me, so was it a question or are you finished?
I didn't ping you.
Oh.
Just so you know.
I think Maddie.
Sorry. I guess we were just wondering if we could go since we're finished.
Oh, I'm going to bring everybody back because pretty much everybody's finished. I'm going to start the second one and then I'll let you work for just a few. I won't keep you very long, just so you have it started.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'll probably just let you all do that on your own. Yep. Okay.
I also have a question.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Now that
It's not
I'm
about the problems. I finished the problems. I just would you have the answer key?
No, I have to get those done, but I'm going to try to do this today right after class. I'll put this one up first. And I'll just send out an email when I do it. But if you want to show, well, here, tell you what, I think what I'm going to do is I don't think I have enough time to start the other sheet and get it done. I think I'm just going to push that over till Tuesday. And so if you have questions, I'm going to bring everybody back, pretty much let everybody go. And then if you have questions, then I'll be happy to answer it. Then I can look over that with you to make sure.
Okay. That's just me. Like I probably have it right, but I second guess myself a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. But I'll work on it. I'll have it up like probably in about 20 minutes. Okay. And what numbers did you have for the first one? Just so I forgot to write them down when I wrote them for the class for number 1. Like what was the X and Y?
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Like, are you talking about the triangle? Like,
the one that I forgot to put the triangle in.
Oh, 4, 7, and H. So
Okay.
4 was the
Got it.
X and 7 was the Y,
Okay,
and then
good.
H.
I'll use that in my solution. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, sounds good. Okay. So I think I'm going to just call everybody back, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, it looks like everybody's back. What I'm going to do is I just want to introduce the math on 17B, and then I'm going to let you work that on your own, and I'll answer that in a video, kind of like practice problem video, and then you'll be free to go. So just give me, I'm sharing right now. Hopefully you're seeing it, the 17B. And I just kind of want to go over the concepts, which will take about 5 minutes, and that'll be the end of class. Okay, but so is everybody, are you seeing the?
Yeah, we see it.
Good, perfect. Okay, good. I'm just so you can look at it. I'm gonna unshare it. I just want to make sure everybody looked at it. Okay. So I'll do this on paper. This is what the key idea is, and it's important in the sense if you use this stuff again, this will come up. And I'm just going to write down the 6 trigonometric functions. And I'm going to write the reciprocals next to one another. Sorry, y over h, cosine is x over h, tangent y over x. Cotangent is x over y, so that's equal to 1 over tangent. The cosecant is h over y, that's 1 over sine. And the secant is h over x, that's 1 over cosine. And here's the key. And as you can write all 6 can be written using cosine and sine only. Okay, so I'm kind of looking at, so what I'm looking at on the handout is 1, 3, and 4. Those are all connected. And so the sine is already written in terms of the sine or cosine. The cosine already is. The secant is 1 over, that's written in terms of sine and cosine. And so is the secant. So what I want to show is that we can do that with the tangent, just using sine and cosine only. And so what I'm asking you to do is to show that this is true. And so kind of the way that I would do that is I know that I would look at sine over cosine. And I know that tangent is y over x. So what I want to do is show that this is y over x too. So I'd say, well, my sine is y over h. My cosine is x over h. So I want to reduce that to show that it's equal to the tangent. So I have a fraction over a fraction. So I write the top fraction as it is, and then I invert and multiply the bottom one. So I invert it like that. These cancel, and I'm left with y over x. Y over x is indeed the tangent. So, okay, the tangent is now can be thought of as sine over cosine. How about the cotangent? Well, the cotangent is going to be 1 over the tangent. So that's going to be the reciprocal of that. It's going to be the opposite. So that's going to be cosine theta over tan theta. So this is number 1. And this is number 3 over here. So that's kind of what I wanted you to be able to do and have some practice doing it. And then I'm gonna leave number 2 for later, but I want to look at number 4, and just so you know what you're doing there. So keep this in mind up here, and then I want to close off with just a couple of remarks. Okay. Here we have this information about how to write the sine and cosine. So I look at 4a, and it's secant theta over sine theta. And I'm saying simplify it. And this is what will happen sometimes in calculus classes or other classes. And so what I want to do is to simplify it. There's different ways to do it. I'm going to start doing it by writing secant in terms of cosine. So secant is equal to 1 over cosine theta. So that's the same as that. And then I'd say, oh, that's just sine over cosine. Oh, that's just the tangent. So this is something that you might do in applications and in other classes. And so I just wanted you to get some practice doing that. So that's kind of what I was doing for 4. And then I think what I'll do is, like I say, I'll go over solutions for this, or some of, at least for 1 to 4 in a video. So I'm going to let you go and let you work on this on your own, but like I'll provide solutions to this probably in a video or in some fashion. But I just wanted today to go over that main concept, just so you see it. And then number 2 is different, and number 5 is different. So we'll think about those later. But I wanted, just before I go, I just want to give you just kind of wrap up a couple of things and kind of give you some guidance. So I really think having a formula sheet for trigonometry is really helpful, unless if you can remember everything. And so what I would do is, like, I would do this: sine theta is equal to y over h. And then I would have, let's say, cosecant theta. I would say, well, that's h over y, and that's equal to 1 over sine theta. Okay, and so I would do that for all 6. So I continue. Another thing I would have on there would be these basic angles. I would put here, I'd make a chart. And this is what I did in the video. So I would have sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. And then I would put like the famous angles here between 0 and 90, the reference angles. So, and we see that the sine 0 we saw on that chart was 0. I can go over these some other time. That's 1 and that's 0. Again, you can see that from the video. And then I would put, well, the next kind of famous angle is pi over 6, or 30 degrees. And then again, using the video from the weekend, we saw that this was equal to 1/2. This was square root of 3 over 2. And this was equal to square root of 3 over 3. And again, I'm skipping all the details, but I would have this chart, and I would have it for these angles. That's 45 degrees, sorry. And so to me, this information is stuff you refer to over and over again. And then I would also have, maybe here in my formula sheet, I might have a picture. And then maybe a reminder of the Pythagorean Theorem. And then maybe I'd have the picture of the unit circle too. The cosine theta is x, sine theta is y. So I would just have a lot of the information right in front of me. So when I do homework, when I do WebAssign, when I'm doing, I could just pull this out and I have all the information where I need it. And it just, I think, is a good way to keep track of things. So again, it's up to you to do that, but I think having a formula sheet of some sort is really helpful, just because there's so many different things. And the last thing, we haven't shown this yet, but I would have stuff like this on there. We haven't done that yet. That was number 2 from 17B. And again, you don't know this yet because you haven't had enough experience, but this is stuff that you're just going to use over and over again. Okay, so anyway, that's all I have to say. So any questions before I go? I'm just seeing, yep, I don't think there's any more. Okay, good. And like I say, I'm behind on posting solutions to handouts, but I'm going to do the 117A from today. I'll just post that, do it by hand, because it sounded like people were doing pretty well on that. Okie doke. I'll see you. Have a good weekend, and let me know if you have any questions about WebAssign. And if
Thank you.
If you have any questions, I'll stick around.
We have a lot of people that.
Hello.
Okay, good. I just was seeing, I got that. Yes. So, do you have some questions or want to go over some stuff?
I don't know. Well, since you said that you're gonna post the solutions, so that's fine. But I just want to ask, since you know how like at least for your class, the Pythagorean theorem is x squared plus y squared. This is I don't know, but why isn't it a and b?
If I had a triangle like this.
I don't know, because like I haven't had like that my algebra 2 class since 2 years ago, so I remember this stuff just kind of
right,
a little bit. But I remember we used to use one that was like a and b, and I don't know.
Can you see what I'm writing?
Yeah, I see it.
See, I could do that, and that's perfectly okay. But since the reason I'm doing this is
no, I mean I get why you use x and y, but I just want to know if they're the same thing.
Yes,
I didn't want to
the same thing. Yeah, and again,
I didn't want to like fuse together like my old information and new information.
No, it's often given this way when you're just talking about a triangle in space. What we're doing in trigonometry is we're always putting this point on the origin. I was trained, you'll see that. And so that's how we're usually thinking about it. And so that way, this length is the x coordinate here, and this is the y coordinate. So
yeah, that makes more sense. But I just remember back then that we used to use a and b, and I don't know, I kind of never knew that. I just used them.
No, and notation is one of the weirdest things about math. Like I remember I couldn't progress until I understood why they were using the notation, and many things would drive me crazy. And you're right, you'll see this in some contexts. Then other contexts you're going to see this, and then you might see this S1, side 1, and side. You just get all these different ways to say the same things, and that gets confusing.
But I think this one makes sense because the x and y, like the way you put it out right there, it makes sense. I just wanted to know because I still had the a and b in my head, and I was just wondering if it was the same thing or something else different.
Different letters.
All right, that's the only question I had.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll get those out pretty soon. Anyway, so you'll have them.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.